Good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let me clear my throat for just a moment. I'm sorry. Good evening, and welcome to this team webinar, our Jubi team webinar. This is not a corporate webinar, and the only reason I make that distinction is, when we're doing corporate webinars, obviously we're speaking from a corporate standpoint, and sometimes we have to pull back the range just a little bit. This is for our team. There's going to be some things I'm going to share with you on tonight, and I'll say, this is what I understand now, okay? Put an asterisk beside it. Don't say that it's gospel truth. Don't go and tell the whole world, well, Tila Mott said it's exactly like this, or corporate said it's exactly like that. When we do these team webinars, and Tila Mott says something that's coming from Tila Mott based on the best information that he has, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. So I'll make sure that you have your asterisks. I want to spend more time tonight on Q&A because we didn't get a chance to get to any Q&A on Tuesday night. I still want to give you some information and make sure that we're clear on a few things as we're getting very close to the upgrade button coming on, people being able to make purchases, commissions then being paid based on that, commissions running, being able to see that, being able to withdraw commissions fairly soon, and then those who want to take commissions and buy more inventory, all of those good things. So very, very soon people are going to actually see in their back office, those of you that are building teams, something happened where you see some e-cash. Oh, yes, you got commission. So I want to talk a little bit about that as well, talk a little bit about the Jubi Suite. We're going to get started in just a few moments. Let's do a few quick introductions. I'll do this very quickly. And we do have this being audio recorded. Fantastic. Looks like many of you know what to do. Anthony B. from Seattle, welcome. Alice from Florida, Neil from Ontario, Johnny from Washington, Steve from Nevada. Boy, what is that? Is anybody else hearing that clicking sound? I don't know if that's me or not. I hope not. Ted from South Carolina, Liz from Louisiana, Joyce from the Show Me State, Hal from Hilton Head, Randy from Indiana, Michael from Alabama, Diane from the Queen City in Charlotte, Charlie from Virginia, welcome, 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 welcome. Elaine and Andy from Plaquemine, Louisiana, they continue to get the Perfect Attendance Award. George from Australia, what time is it? It's already Friday over there, isn't it? What is it, 9 a.m. over there? Clarence from California, Minnie from New York City, Sean from Chesapeake, Virginia, Cheryl from Alberta, Tyron from Trinidad, Earl from Minnesota, Gary from Charlotte. Hey, Gary, have you called me today? That you just called me? I've been on conference calls all day. Buddy from Louisiana, Marcia from Florida, Isaiah from Cambodia. Isaiah, what time of day is it over there in Cambodia? Welcome, 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 welcome. Vicky from Vegas, Shelley from Virginia, Kenny from Maryland, Peter from Detroit, Fred from Capitol Heights, Maryland, Daryl from Wisconsin, Bill from Birmingham. My gosh, won't be able to get to everyone. Kathy, hey Kathy, good to see you. Alan from Ohio. Kathy, did you send me an email that I have not yet seen? If so, text me, please. Happy, Sam, Tony, Terrence, Cheryl, you did, okay. Wow, Susanna from France, fantastic. Okay, the clicking I think has stopped. All right, Brad, good to have you, good to have you, good to have you. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, got a lot to cover, and I hope in sounding rushed that I did not sound, that you still know I love you and you heard my heart there. I just know we've got a lot to cover, and I know there's going to be a lot of questions because we had a great webinar the other night, but we didn't get a chance to entertain any Q&As. All right, so let's do this real quickly. Let's go on and give you some announcements as I know them, or at least some understanding on where we are. Guys, this has been a phenomenal day. We've been on with either programming or corporate or support all day. Hey, Kathy, will you resend that to me, please? If you would resend that to me, I'd appreciate that. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we've been on all day with corporate or programming or support. Let me just kind of share with you a few updates. Number one, tonight the Jubi Suite is going to go live and permanent. I really should say first thing in the morning, because I believe at 1 a.m. Eastern, any moves that you've made up to this point were like test moves. But as of 1 a.m., really Friday morning, what they're going to do is they're going to clear out all test moves. And so they're going to reset everything, and then any moves, once they've done that clear out, I think it's going to take, from what programming said, about 30 minutes once they reset, so about 1:30ish or so in the morning on Eastern time. So many of you'll go to bed tonight when you get up in the morning. Then any moves you make thereafter will be permanent. You will not be able to make if you have Joe that you personally enrolled, you've got Sue that you personally enrolled, Joe and Sue average, you've got Mary that you personally enrolled, and you decide that you want to place Mary with Joe after they've done the reset, and then you think, you know what, maybe I should have placed Mary with Sue. Guess what? You won't be able to make that. You won't be able to make that change. You'll be able to make one. You'll be able to move your personally enrolled, and if you're personally enrolled, you'll be able to move them once. That's it. Okay. So, with that being said, though this is going live and permanent, and there was a certain section of the company that this was very important for them, because they were maybe had promised certain folks, or they had cut deals. Hey, if you I've got folks in my Jubi suite, and if you come and join with me, then I'm going to put a leg or two in your organization, and so on and so forth. And so that will go live and permanent for everyone. Now, I'm going to tell you that I will not start using the placement in full until I start to see volume. So let me show you something real quickly. All right, bear with me. Let me log into our test account. So unless you already know, like some of you know, for instance, that you're going to place Joe with Susie no matter what, okay? So if you want to make that move permanent, you feel free. But if you are still maybe running a contest, or you still don't have enough information yet to determine who's won a contest, or what you should do, or you still haven't really mapped out, really thought out a strategy, then I would have you to hold off on making any moves. So let me show you a couple of things that have happened since we shared this information on Monday night webinar. Okay, so we're in our test account here, and what I did earlier today with programming is I moved. Oh, let's do this. Bear with me. Let's do something. Bear with me. Okay, back here now, there might be another color coding happening here, but if you see someone in gray, all right, then this is a person that has not been placed. And obviously in this case, you see that these three folks are personally enrolled by Jubi Training. These three folks here are personally enrolled by Jubi Training, all right? The fact that they're in gray means they have not been placed. Bear with me. Why am I not seeing that? Okay. Now, earlier today, I had more folks on the front line here, and I was testing it with programming, and we placed some folks in under Susie average. So I want you to notice something real quickly is before, when I would put my cursor on Susie average, it would just have her username. It didn't have her name. So they inserted a name field because you may not know the username of the person you want to move. You might know their name, but you don't know what their username is. So now when you go scroll over and you see the person's username, you can say, oh yeah, okay, name, that's Susie Average, that's who I wanted, okay? The other thing that they've included is the rank. The rank. This is going to be very key because many of you, as you start using the play, what in the world is that? Wow. I don't know what that is. Bear with me. Let me check something. Hold on. I've got somebody on with me that's helping me out. Can you mute out? I want to see if that's coming from your end or mine. What the world is that? Okay, guys, do me a favor.
Yeah,
What I'm gonna.
I am muted. I am muted out. I'll mute again.
Okay, I don't know where that was coming from. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Where was I? Okay. So, rank. Now, this is one of the reasons why I'm not going to be doing a lot of placing just yet. I'm still mapping out all my strategy, but I need to see a little more information. So rank here, this is going to be very important. Remember, if someone has a, you tell me, quiz. You tell me. If someone has a monthly subscription of $15 a month, what rank does that qualify them for? Questions box. Fantastic. Fantastic. Most of you have gotten it right. Fantastic. Jade. $15 a month is Jade. $15 a month is Jade. $50 a month. $50 a month. What would their rank be? 50 US dollars. You've got it. Ruby. Ruby. $100 a month. $100 a month. You've got it. Emerald. 15 is Jade. 50 is Ruby. 100 is Emerald. $200 a month. Diamond. Fantastic. Okay. All right. So, this piece that that they added, programming added, you're going to see the rank. You're going to see the rank, and the reason this is important is, you know, for instance, if you play someone that has a rank of diamond, you know, at least right now they're on a $200 a month subscription, or they at least are selling $200 a month worth of product. Now, right now it would be $200 a month subscription, since no one can sell anything just yet to the public. That's going to change very soon. All right. Now, why is that important? Because if you place someone that's diamond with another of your teammates, you know that there's going to be the person that you place them with is going to get a commission. And in case you don't know, if you go under the home page, it says corporate overview. You click there, and there is a detailed compensation PDF there. So ultimately, you're going to get 5% on subscriptions, as well as subscriptions coming through your Unilevel. Okay, so that's important, because you might, for instance, you might be saying, okay, well, I want to play someone because the person who won my contest, I want to make sure that the people that the person or the leg I place them with has some nice volume. They're going to get some overrides. All right. The other thing that you're going to notice here is where it says PQV, which is personal qualifying volume. That also is going to include a person's monthly subscription. That's going to also include a person's volume as customers are making purchases from their site. All right, so that could be a combination of, I'm on $200 a month, so you see my $200 a month PQV there, as well as if I've had customers that are making purchases, you see that as personal qualifying volume. But the other thing that's going to be very key is going to be GQV, group qualifying volume. So what's going to happen here, now obviously there's nothing there now, but that's going to change here when the upgrade button comes on in the next few days. I anticipate the first part of the week. So we go in and we start making our purchases of monthly subscriptions and JubiBucks and so on and so forth, and the GQV, group qualifying volume, is coming from, again, monthly subscriptions and product sales and product movement through your organization. That's where GQV comes from. All right. So again, why is this important? Because when you start to understand the ranks, yes, Jade, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond can be achieved fairly quickly if a person has enough personal volume, i.e. a monthly subscription, to qualify. But then there are other ranks like one-star diamond, one-star diamond, where you need a certain amount of group qualifying volume, or two-star volume. You need a certain amount of group qualifying volume. A presidential, earning your car bonus requires a certain amount of group qualifying volume. So this is going to be important so that when you decide that you want to move Jane, in time you're going to see how much group qualifying volume Jane has, and then you're going to also be able to use that for a leverage tool. For instance, let's say you've got Susie, Mary, and Jane average here, and you say, hey, listen, I'm running a contest between the three of you. Whoever wins the contest, by the way, Susie, you should know that if you win the contest, you know, one of the legs that could be moved under you has so much in group qualifying volume, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever that happens to be. And Mary, if you win, one of the legs that you could be placed with you already has 5,000 in group qualifying volume. This becomes huge. It also becomes huge when you start to see this and you've got people in your Jubi suite, and maybe you're looking at bringing someone on. You want to bring on, maybe someone that you consider a heavier hitter or what have you. It doesn't even have to be a heavy hitter, but you might use this as a leverage tool. So, for instance, I get a phone call yesterday from a gentleman who sought me out. We're talking, and I found out, my gosh, this guy has done very well in this industry, and he's still doing his. Let me do some more research and what have you. So now I could use the Jubi suite as a leverage tool to say, hey, listen, tell you what, you come and join with me today. I've got a leg that has so much volume, and if you join me today, going to get upgraded, so on and so forth. So I want you to see the number of ways you can use the Jubi suite as a leverage tool. And again, this will be going live tonight. Now, personally, I won't be doing a lot of placements tonight, tomorrow, next week, until I can start seeing things like PQV, group qualifying volume, and then I believe even ultimately only the personal enroller will be able to see this. I believe ultimately, this will be key, ultimately you'll be able to see in this box the Jubi points of your personally enrolled. Now, only the personal enroller will be able to see that. The placement sponsor, the person, if I place Jane with Mary, Mary will not see Jane's Jubi points. But because I personally enrolled Jane, I would see the number of Jubi points she has. Why is that important? Because if Jane has 10,000 Jubi points as an example, and I place Jane with Mary, and Jane has 10,000 Jubi points, and I can see that, what do I know? I know that Mary's going to be getting a 0.5% override daily once the daily revenue starts on the fact that Jane has 10,000 points she earns daily, and a portion of that goes to more inventory. Okay? Again, this allows you more leverage. This allows you to really help build out your team using the placement tool, so that you've got more teammates starting to earn more money. As more teammates earn more money, they hit more of the ranks. If they hit more of the ranks, that means they dig deeper into the compensation, meaning if you are a diamond, you earn from the first 3 of the 8 levels in the unilevel. But once you promote to first 1-star diamond, you earn through 4 of the 8 levels. Once you promote to 2-star diamond, you earn from 6 of the 8 levels. I'm talking about on the half of percents now. Once you are a presidential diamond, you earn from all 8 of the 8 levels. So the purpose of all of this, in terms of the suite and in terms of being able to see, okay, I see what Jane's rank is. Okay, I see what her personal qualifying volume is. Okay, I see what her group qualifying volume is. And very soon, oh, I see the Jubi points she has. Now think of the leverage that this does when you run a contest. Think of the leverage that this has. When you run a contest and you say, hey, Jane, Mary, Susie, I'm running a contest, and Susie, if you win, I happen to already know that one of the legs that I might be placing with you has 8,000 Jubi points, 10,000 Jubi points. You'd be earning 0.5% on the overrides on a daily basis once the daily revenue starts. Does that get Susie more engaged? Does that get Mary more engaged? Does that get Jane more engaged as they want to then win that contest? I know for some of you that might be newer, okay, that may have gone over your head right now. That's okay. I'll show you a video, but you can start picking that up. But what I just described, if that makes sense to you and you see, oh my gosh, that's going to be powerful. If that makes sense to you and you see it's going to be powerful, put a Y in your questions box. Fantastic. 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 Okay. Okay. So some of you are not quite getting it. That's all right, but a lot of you are. Fantastic. Those of you not getting it, just stick around. I promise you, you will. Give me just a moment. Okay, Cheryl, while I was here. Okay, Cheryl asked a great question, all right, and I just happened to catch this here. Cheryl wanted to know, when I hovered over where it says Jubi Training, wait a minute, you got a great point there. I didn't notice that. Cheryl, I will let programming know.
T. Lamont.
Yes.
Can you hear me? If you're asking why it says 4, it does that for everyone. It always counts your personals plus you.
That's the answer?
Yes, sir.
We sure that's the answer?
Everyone I've looked at,
I'm
about 100 of them.
I just want to make sure.
Well, it's 3 plus. I mean, they could change that, but the way it's set up right now, it always counts you as one of those 4. So you're always one of that group.
You know what? That might be confusing. So, hey, could you make a note for us to talk to programming about that, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By the way, the person that you are hearing, I'm not going to mention his name just because I was the biggest promoter with another company in the revenue sharing space, and I was concerned about some things I saw from a managerial standpoint. And when I decided to, for the sake of my family, for the sake of my following, to look at another direction in terms of promoting, they didn't quite like that. So I just want to make sure that that nobody else is impacted. They're playing some dirty games with me and with my dad, and I want to make sure that nobody else is impacted by that. Some of you know that voice, very, very, very important voice here with what we're doing, but that's the only reason I won't mention his name. But I will tell you this, he is a tremendous asset to all of us here at Jubi Rev, Jubi Max. Okay, give me just a moment here. Okay, all right, so now, and I see some other questions talking about the Jubi Suite, so we'll come back to that. This is what I want to show you real quickly. All right, so what I want to show you is, I'm not going to make any more moves here now. I will make some moves after the presentation webinar tonight when we share with the rest of the Jubi family. But what we did earlier, well, I want you to see something here. All right, so we had Susie here, and we actually moved a leg into Susie's organization, but tied to to Frank average here. And I want you to see something here. I want you to notice something. Something happened with the colors. Something happened with the colors. When you look in your Jubi Suite, if someone has either been moved, placed in your organization, whether they were placed on your first level or maybe a little bit further down, or well, if someone's been placed in your organization, you're going to notice that they show up in the bright yellow. So what this says to me is Susie, now she's purple now because I clicked on her, Susie was showing in the gray. All right, so none of these legs have been moved yet, okay? Susie had Frank average, or Franco average, on her first level. And then in our test, we moved these two legs linked to Frank. So what happened was, now when Franco goes into his Jubi suite and he sees he's got these two legs, he's going to know, oh, this was a placement from someone above. This was a placement from someone above, okay? Susie's going to know, oh, wow, there was a placement. So either maybe Susie made the placement or someone else made the placement. In this case, if Susie knew that she didn't make the placement, then she's saying, oh, cool, my personal enroller made a placement into my organization. Fantastic, okay? And that the reason they did that color coding is so that if I said Tyron, you won my contest, buddy, and I'm going to place a leg in your organization, then Tyron gets to go in and he gets to see, oh, okay, that must have been the leg that T-Lamont was talking about, because I see this bright yellow, and I didn't make that placement, so he must have made that placement, okay? All right, so that's a little bit about that on the Jubi Suite. Again, personally, I will not use it a lot just yet. And those of you, some of you were with us on a webinar. Let me tell you one of the things real quickly that you want to consider with the Jubi Suite. Let me do this quick. Poll here. This is going to help me with what I'm about to share with you. Give me just a moment. Let me bring up a poll. All right. If you would vote for me, please. If you have personally enrolled none, let me know. If you've personally enrolled 1 to 5, you've pre-enrolled 1 to 5, let me know. If you've personally enrolled 6 to 25, let me know. 26 to 100, then 100 or more. I'd like to have everyone voting. Let's get some more votes. Let's get some more votes. Let's get some more votes. Get some more votes, okay? Good amount of you in that 6 to 25 range. Decent amount in that 26 to 100 range. Got a few at that 100 plus range. Fantastic. Got a few who haven't quite enrolled just yet. Love you just the same. Please understand that. We'll never treat you like a second-class citizen. Okay? Let's give it 10 seconds in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. All right. So a good number of you, now there's a few of you that have, huge numbers, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay. One of the things that you want to consider, gosh, what in the world is that? What is that? I hope that's not my headset. One of the things that you want to consider, I can close this now. My other computer is being worked on. I'm normally in front of 2 computers at one time so I can see what you guys can see. Will you guys let me know if you see my whiteboard now? Just if you see my whiteboard, just put a Y there real quickly. Do you see my whiteboard? Good. That's good enough. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you. That's good enough. Okay. One of the things I would have you to consider when using the Jubi placement tool is how many legs that you want to keep on your first level. And when you understand the compensation plan, to max out the compensation plan, you only need 3 legs, meaning, coming back here, this right here is 3 legs, all right? 3 on your first level. You only need 3 legs. Now, to maximize the entire compensation plan, if you want to become presidential and eventually drill all the way down to 8 levels, you will need to have 6 personally sponsored in time, 6 personally enrolled, not sponsored, 6 personally enrolled diamonds. So 6 people that you've personally enrolled that eventually are responsible for $200 a month in qualifying volume. Either they have a $200 a month subscription or they've got enough product sales that equals to $200 a month. Okay. Now, these 6 personals don't have to be 6 legs. They could be 3 legs where you've got these 3 here, and then the other 3 that in time you personally enrolled. I'm talking about for those who want to maximize the comp plan, maybe you place them somewhere in your organization. What you're going to find is that if you keep your width limited early on, it's going to have a greater impact in your overall organization. Meaning this, let's say I personally enrolled 100 folks. Great, fantastic, okay? It really doesn't do me any good long term to keep 100 people on my first level. All right, doesn't do me any good, because what happens is all of those folks, you know, if I start doing some placement, for instance, if I instead of me being 100 wide, let's say I'm 5 wide. Well, then that means the 100 folks I have, 95 are linked somehow to the first 5, or maybe if I'm only 3 wide. And so by limiting the number of folks you're going to have on your first level to start, okay, and utilizing this placement tool, understand that this Joe Average here, his volume, his team's group volume counts for not only him for promotion purposes to get to other ranks and get to his car bonus, it counts for Franco too. It counts for Susie. And it counts for you. So the fact that in this example I placed Joe here, I would still keep my enrollment percentages. If I'm at Diamond, I get a 10% override as Joe gets his daily rewards. I get a 10% override if he goes and buys more Jubi Bucks, so on and so forth. I didn't lose that, okay? What I did is I allowed Franco now to pick up 0.5% that Franco wouldn't have been getting. Susie picks up 0.5%. I'm assuming that Susie's at least qualified for 2 levels there. Now, get this. If Franco is making more money, then is that eventually going to feed up to me anyway? Let's think this through. If Franco on a daily basis is making more money in his daily rewards, and remember, the maximum that you can withdraw to cash is 60%, and most of us won't do that much, okay? Even when we're ready for a consistent withdrawal strategy, we'll teach you for the most part 20%. Well, anything that is paid in your reward that does not go to cash essentially goes to more Jubi Bucks, more inventory, and that becomes a commissionable transaction on a daily basis. So if Franco is earning more because he's picking up 0.5%, then doesn't that mean that he's going to have more inventory, and that more inventory is going to commission out Susan even more? And if she's commissioned out even more, then that means you're going to be commissioned out even more. So I'm hoping you're seeing that this is a give, get. The more you give, the more you get. The more you give in terms of samples, the more you give in terms of access to the resort booking engine, the more you give in terms of Jubi Bucks, the more you get. The more you plant in your organization, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. Okay, so that's enough on the Jubi Suite. Make sure, if you have not yet begun to load funds, okay, we are very close to the upgrade button going on. Make sure you and your teams start aggressively uploading funds. Keep 2 things in mind. Number one, monthly subscription. Okay? Monthly subscription. All right? Again, 15, 50, 100, 200. If you have the resources, do everything you can to do the 200. Get your 105 days on your Jubi points as opposed to 95 days if you were 100, as opposed to 90 days, 85 days, I'm sorry, if you were 50, as opposed to 80 days if you were 15. All right? As much as you possibly can. Okay? Then number two, your purchase of Jubi Bucks. So go on and plan out what is your budget. All right? I would include the first monthly subscription along with your budget. Okay? Remember that March 22nd is the line in the sand for the Founders Promotion. I would not wait until March the 22nd, okay? I would start that process, if you haven't already done so, I'd start that process now. Another poll here, I just want to see, and when you vote on this, guys, I can't see who voted what. It just shows me the percentages of folks that said yes or no or what have you. So I don't know if you have done this or have not done that, okay? So please, everyone, if you would, vote, if you would. Bear with me. Okay, so please let me know. If I have not loaded funds yet, let me know that. I have loaded funds with Pays and STP, great. I have an ACH in process. Or maybe you've loaded funds with ACH and it's already been processed. So if it's already been processed, great there. I have a wire in process, great there. I'm loading with the Jubi account, okay? Okay, looks like the majority of you, let's get some more voting. I haven't gotten the numbers I want to see voting. Looks like the majority of you that have loaded and the majority of you have loaded. The majority of you that have loaded have used Pays or STP. That is the quickest way if you've got funds in Pays or STP. The Jubi account, if you've gotten your Jubi account card in the mail, then that's a simple process. If you've not yet gotten your Jubi account card in the mail, that is a lengthier process than what we had originally hoped, okay? If you've gotten your card in the mail, all right, and you do need to be checking the mail if you haven't gotten it. If you've gotten your card in the mail, one of the quickest ways is to go to, okay, give me a moment, I got enough of it. One of the quickest ways, close. Once again, can you let me know if you can see my screen? If someone just put a Y there, you can see my whiteboard. Good. That's good enough. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. If you have gotten your Jubi account card, okay. As a matter of fact, I just used mine to pay for a brake job. I had loaded some funds and test, and then I had to use Pays and Silent Trust Pay as well. All right. If you've gotten your Jubi account, one of the quickest ways is to go down to, if you go to moneypack.com, I believe it will give you locations close to you. If you have locations close to you where you can go and get a Money Pack card, make sure you are not getting a debit card. So if you go down to, let's say, Walmart or what have you, it's green, and it says reload prepaid cards, make same-day payments, add money to PayPal, something like that. Make sure you're not loading to a Walmart debit card. All right. So what would happen is you'd have cash. You go down to Walgreens or you go down to Walmart or wherever there's a Money Pack. You pick up the little card. You take it to the cashier. You give them the cash that you want to load onto the Money Pack card. It's a small little fee, about $4, $5. And then that money is loaded onto the card. Treat that like cash. All right? Treat that like cash. Whether you're doing this from your smartphone or whether you wait till you get home and get on a computer, there is a scratch-off pad on the back. You scratch off that pad on the back, and it's going to give you a number. This is a number that you're then going to go to Money Pack Give me a moment. Let me show you this real quickly. You're then going to go to moneypack.com. It's going to ask you to reload a prepaid card. This would be your Jubi account card number, your debit card number from your Jubi, all right? You would put your Jubi account card number here. You would click on reload. It's then going to ask you for that code on the back of your MoneyPack card. You load that code in. You'll have a couple of confirmations. It's going to say you're loading $1,000 or $500 or whatever it is you loaded on the card. And then once you confirm, then the funds have now gone from the MoneyPack card over to your Jubi account. From your MoneyPack card over to your Jubi account. Once it's in your Jubi account, you can come back to your back office under Load Funds and just click on where it says Jubi account and load from your Jubi account. All right. All right. So that's how you do that with MoneyPack. If you've got the actual card, you can also go to Visa Ready Link. You take the physical card. You can also go to Western Union, MoneyGram. You take the physical card in your back office. You get more of the instructions on all of those. Okay. So that's for those of you that are looking to load with your Jubi account card. Okay. Now, with that being said, let me share with you. All right. So we've got this March 22nd. Please do not wait till March 22nd. Okay. Now, if you're in the U.S., you have an ACH option. I am not wild about the fees to that. Those are not fees charged by JubiRev, JubiMax, JubiRev, JubiMax doesn't get a dime of that. That's really a convenience because of everything that happens behind the scenes to integrate it into the system. But I'm not going to trip over pennies getting to dollars because remember, you're going to get if you make your purchase or if you load funds, and I'm assuming the upgrade button is going to be live first of the week. If you make your purchase during the founders period, and if you are still in process, maybe you got an ACH on the way, and it's showing in process, but it hasn't hit yet, so you can make a purchase. You're still going to be credited once you make your purchase. All right. So when you make your purchase, let's say if you purchase 1,000 Jubi bucks, okay. Normally you get 1,000 Jubi points once you give those bucks away. However, you're going to get a 15% match, so you would get 1,150. So while I'm not crazy about the fee associated with the ACH option, and again, that is not a JubiRev, JubiMax fee at all, I'm not going to trip over pennies getting to dollars because I'm going to get more in terms of a match than what that fee happens to be. Now, I will tell you that the most cost-efficient way, particularly if you're dealing with larger sums, let's say larger sums being 1,000 or more, is going to be doing the wire option. And both the ACH and the wire option, both the ACH and the wire option, there's been things integrated so that admin can see when you initiate an ACH. Admin can see when you initiate a wire. Okay, so now, March 22nd is the date for the founders, okay? Now, I'm sure there will probably, the line in the sand may be shared on Monday as it relates to when funds need to be showing in your back office, uploaded, so on and so forth, okay? But you definitely want to make sure that everything's in there, at least in process by March 22nd. Then what's going to happen is there's going to be a commission date. It's basically going to say all funds need to be in here for the first commission run. And that is going to be probably just a few short days after March 22nd, okay? This is why I don't want you to wait until March 22nd to start your upload. Obviously, if you've got Page or SCP, that's more of an immediate standpoint. All right, so now what's going to happen is this. What's going to happen, there's going to be one of two things that's going to happen. Here's the asterisk, 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 because I don't know which way this is going to go. I'll probably finish with this, and then we'll go into a Q&A. One school of thought, or one way that this could go is there's a hard date set. All purchases need to be made by this time for the first commission run. And so you want to make sure that you've got your monthly subscription purchased and you've got your Jubi Bucks purchased, okay? And that monthly subscription is going to be very key because that's going to determine your rank, particularly for those of you that have already begun to build a referral network. If you do not have a monthly subscription, then your rank is going to be that of an associate. And I want to say that if you referred someone who made a Jubi Buck purchase, you still make some money, but I think it's like I want to say 3%. I could be wrong on that. As opposed to 5% if you were Ruby, 7%. I'm sorry, 5% if you were Jade, 7% if you were Ruby, 10% if you're Emerald or Jade. Okay, that's a big difference, particularly when there are some folks that I know have already loaded funds into the thousands. All right, so I want to make sure you maximize your commission potential. Also, there's a big difference in what happens from a second generation standpoint. You refer me, I'm first generation. I refer Susan, she's second generation. There's a big difference in what you earn in a second generation override based on your rank. That's where the diamond really shines. Starting with that second generation shines far more than the emerald. Okay. All right. So this is going to be important that you've got your monthly subscription purchased and you've purchased whatever your Jubi Bucks are. So here's one school of thought. One school of thought is going to be that maybe, hear my words, maybe the upgrade button is turned off. Maybe it's turned off for a day or two. And there is the initial commission run, support, programming. They go through that run, management. They they spot check to make sure that everything paid out the way that it was supposed to, and then you would see commissions in eCash. And then what you'd be able to do is you would be able to take the eCash and purchase more inventory. Okay, you'd be able to take eCash and do a withdrawal if you want to commission that out. Okay. All right. So that's going to be one way that it can happen, where there's this hard line. All purchases in by this date will be on the first commission run. Any purchases thereafter is still going to be commissioned, but just won't be on that first big commission run. We did this with the company prior to being with Jubi Rev, and this was a tremendous success because we had people that earned $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, even $40,000 during that type phase. That's the phase we're in right now. That's the phase we're in right now. And so then what some folks were able to do, somebody made $20,000 as an example, maybe they put $2 or $3 grand in their pocket, or maybe more, all right? And then they took a good amount of those commissions, purchase more inventory, begin to give those away to generate more Jubi points, okay? That's going to be one way that it can happen. The second way that it can happen is they could, instead of doing, saying, instead of saying all purchases made by this time and we take down the upgrade button, what they may do is they may show pending commissions, okay? They may show pending commissions, meaning, okay, well, maybe you haven't gotten your purchase in just yet, okay? And so in the back office, it would show, but one of your folks did, and if you are an associate, this would be your commissions, but if you were a diamond, this would be your commissions. And so, and you may have a certain amount of time to upgrade, to get the pending, the pending commissions or what have you, okay? So I'm not quite sure how the company's going to go, with that. I just know that what we will see in very short order is a commission run. What I do know, however the company does it, in very short order, we'll see a commission run. So my expectation is that very early in the week, and I know, we thought this was going to happen a while back, and there were some delays from a manufacturing standpoint. And I know that there were some conversations, some very lengthy conversations, conference calls today, where it looks like that is just about there. There was with one of the products, I know there was some going back and forth about the formulation change, and that's really what was taking the time, because they had to have the complete formula before they could do the labels with the ingredients and in keeping with all the FDA kind of stuff. Okay, but it looks like that's about done. So what we expect very early next week is to have the upgrade button on. Now, the Jubi Max site might be live the first of the next week. It might be live a little bit later. Whether it's live the first of next week or not, you should be able, with your upgrade button, to at least be able to purchase a subscription, purchase Jubi Bucks, and I think you'll at least be able to see products and what have you. It may not be in the presentation that we would show to the to the customer at large, to the public customers, but you'll so there'll be some product images and information about ingredients and so on and so forth like that, but it just may not be in the presentation style that we would have if it was for the customer. All right, so the upgrade button may come on early next week, then JubiMax.com may launch maybe a few days after that, as an example. Just want to prepare you for that if it goes that way, okay? And again, I've got my what? My asterisks, 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 asterisks. All right, this is me talking based on conversations that we've had with corporate, but I'm not doing a corporate webinar, okay? And then, so on Monday, when the president comes to the webinar, then we'll have a much clearer understanding of how that's going to be. I would not be surprised if on Monday we're ready for the upgrade. Okay? Did I say by Monday we're definitely ready? No, I said I would not be surprised. All right, wouldn't surprise me a bit. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if we're ready for that on Monday. The point is this: whenever that upgrade button comes on, we want to lead by example. We want to get upgraded. We want to let all of our teammates know. Now, remember, in your back office, you can see the email addresses and the phone numbers of your personally enrolled. You can also send them internal messages. I would be very aggressive in connecting with my personally enrolled, email, maybe even phone, and letting them know, hey, the upgrade button is turned on. The upgrade button is turned on. That's going to get you upgraded, so that you're in a position to make some commissions if you've got a referral network already established, or at least you've got your monthly subscription, so that once we're ready to start giving samples away and all that good stuff, you can start generating your points, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm going to stop with that because I did want to make sure that we had plenty of time for Q&A. So now, if you have already put in a question, I can tell you I've asked you other things, and so there's a good chance that your question may be so far at the top it'll be tough to reach. If you put in a question before 7:36, it's going to you'll probably just need to go and put that in again, okay? Someone was saying it was simple to verify your card without having it. They were talking about the Jubi account and then using the green dot. It is, but here's the challenge for you. Here was the deal. And we were not aware of this because the service that the group that we're using for the debit card with the Jubi account, this is they've done a lot of things with a lot of companies, but the things that we requested were things that they had not done before, and so that was a little bit of the unknown. When I first got my Jubi account card, okay, when I first purchased my Jubi account, I went in my back office, and it had my temporary number there. And I used that temporary number to go down and load up with my money dot. That was not a problem. Well, I also had access to be able to go into my virtual back office, which basically is a virtual bank account. Well, then when Visa sent out the actual physical card, what I had in my back office was a temporary card. When Visa sent out the permanent card as a security measure, it locked up the virtual bank account until you received your new card, one, and activated it, number two. So there was that time frame where I had loaded up my money dot. I knew it was in my virtual bank account, but that process between Visa, having a temporary card, and Visa then sending me my permanent card, Visa as a security measure, locked that back office. That was nothing that our third party could do about that, and they were not aware that that was going to happen. And so what happened was I had the money sitting in my virtual bank account, but I really couldn't do anything with it until I got my permanent card and activated it. So that's one of the reasons we've not been promoting the Jubi account as hard as a pay-in solution. We thought it was going to be a very quick pay-in solution, and we found out that it was not as quickly as we would like. I would still strongly recommend it as a pay-out solution. Why? Because if you are using Solid Trust Pay and Payza, and I will probably still use Solid Trust Pay and Payza to some extent as a payout solution, but not necessarily my primary payout solution, because obviously anytime I receive funds from Solid Trust Pay or Payza, I'm paying the receipt fees, and you're not going to have the same type of fees associated with being paid to your Jubi account card. So, but still have you, whether you have the Jubi account card now or not, would still have everyone getting it, if for no other reason than a good payout solution. Okay. Okay. So Daryl you probably have just gotten an answer to your question. Daryl said the Jubi account card number that I had was assigned when I first got my Jubi account. I just got my card, and that's a different account number. Is that going to be a problem? Well, this is why I want you to use your. Let me ask you this, Daryl. Did you load up any funds on the temporary account that has not yet that load money on the temporary card, but you did not load that into your eCash yet? If you did not load on that temporary card, you're fine, and so now you can load on your permanent card, and you'll be fine, buddy. Okay. Here's a great question. Does loading the funds make you a founder, or do you have to buy the Jubi packages before it's really now the 22nd that makes you a founder? Well, you really need to buy the packages, but the company is aware there's going to be some folks that are not going to have purchased, that would not have purchased their packages by the 22nd because maybe they're using a funding source that the funds have not gotten there by the 22nd. So obviously, that wouldn't be fair if someone is in process. Okay, you'll be a founder. You'll be a founder because you have loaded funds. Now the question is going to be that founder's bonus. So those are really two questions. A founder, you're going to have an emblem there in your back office. You're going to be able to tell the whole world, hey, I was a founding member. Now that's great. And then really though, from an economic standpoint, all right, for some people that's all they need. All right. That for me, I want the money. I want the bonus. And the promotion and the bonus, I need to upgrade. I need to make the purchases. So this is why when that upgrade button comes on, okay, and again, the company will probably give a little grace beyond the 22nd. That's why I was saying there's a line in the sand on the 22nd. Come back on Monday night. You'll probably hear from the president. There might be a slightly line there from the purchase standpoint, because we know some people will be in process, and they won't have their funds in by the 22nd. As long as you're in process and the company can see that you're in process, you're a founder. But now, we don't want just having folks loading funds and it's just sitting there for weeks and weeks at a time. That doesn't benefit anybody. Nobody, if they haven't purchased a subscription, they haven't purchased any Jubi Bucks, that hasn't released any commissions. We can't pay commissions just because someone loaded their funds. So hopefully, Gary, that answers your question. Okay. Michael Hodges, is there a bigger bang for my buck in purchasing just straight out Jubi Bucks or purchasing one of the packages, like a 2,500 Jubi Buck package? No, Michael. Essentially, with the with the Jubi Bucks there, there'll be those categories there, so it just makes it simpler. I want to purchase 2,500 Jubi Bucks. Click the button, purchase 2,500 Jubi Bucks. You'll be able to also key that in. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I am going to tell you that you're going to have some incentives on how you decide to distribute those Jubi Bucks. All right, so let's say you purchase 2,500 Jubi Bucks, okay? Fantastic, okay? Now, you can obviously give Jubi Bucks away to a customer, and you get one Jubi point for every Jubi Buck you give away. So if you give away to a customer 100 Jubi points, 100 Jubi Bucks, you earn 100 Jubi points, okay? There's going to be an incentive for you to also give either samples or access to the resort booking engine. So for instance, when you give away a sample, you're going to earn $1.05 in Jubi points for every $1 in a sample that you give away. So let's say there's a product that's basically a $40 product, $39.95, okay? All right. Well, what would happen is, I'm just going to call it 40. If you gave away that sample, the system is going to deduct the 40 Jubi Bucks from your inventory. This is why we refer to that as virtual inventory. All right, so someone gets a $40 product from you as a sample, the system's going to deduct 40 Jubi Bucks from your inventory, okay? Then what's going to happen is, instead of you scoring 40 Jubi points, you're going to score you're going to score 42 Jubi points, 5% more, okay? Now, why is the company doing that? To incent us to be more concerned or to attempt to give away more product samples than we do just Jubi Bucks, okay? So whether it's a friend of mine, whether I have someone come over to my house, whether it's someone on Facebook, whether it is a customer registration that I purchased, the whole idea is if that customer actually gets the product in hand, there's a better chance that that customer will come back and want to purchase more, and then even value the Jubi Bucks we gave them even more. Plus, from a pure compliance, what we know regulators will be looking at are customers getting real products. In times past, in the revenue sharing world where people would get customer registrations, oftentimes they just got a bunch of customer registrations that never converted into anything other than a free customer registration. And that can be problematic, obviously. So when Mr. Regulator comes, Mrs. Regulator comes, the company wants to be able to show, no, look at all of these customers that got product, real product, okay? The company is going to also incent to give away resort booking engines access. Now, for my international folks, this is going to be very key. Right now, I know that they are working to see what countries. There's like 60 countries the manufacturer will ship out to, but we know there's going to be some countries that shipping our existing line of products may be cost prohibitive from a shipping standpoint. At the same time, you still want to build your business. You still want to give away samples. You still want to be able to generate points. All right, so for our international folks, particularly ones where shipping products could be cost prohibitive in those cases, not that the manufacturer can't ship, but if the customer is paying for the shipping and handling, and it becomes a huge expense to them, then maybe that sample doesn't seem as great of a deal for them, unless maybe you're giving them $100 or maybe $150 worth of samples. Okay, with the resort booking engine, people are going to be able to get access to be able to go in and book an 8-day, 7-night vacation, so on and so forth. And that typical access would be, the retail price would be $175 for a customer having that access, okay? So the same thing, what would happen is, let's say you purchased 2,500 Jubi bucks. Well, I'm going to tell you, I want to give away samples. I want to give away some Jubi bucks, but to be honest with you, earlier on, I'm going to focus more on giving away the samples and access to the resort booking engine. Why? Because if I see someone that either gets access to the booking engine or they actually take my sample, then this is the person I'm going to want to come back and give Jubi bucks to, with the thinking that they've got a sample, they went a little extra mile, they're not just a free customer, they pulled out a credit card, they requested a sample, they paid for the shipping and handling, okay? And now I want to give them more Jubi bucks so that hopefully they come back into the portal, shop some more, and use those Jubi bucks. But I'm going to also give away access to these resort booking engines because, look at this, I have one person register, and I give them access to the resort booking engine, and I'm also going to get extra 5% Jubi point match. So $175 of Jubi bucks. 1.05 is going to be something like almost 184 Jubi points I'm going to earn there. So there's going to be that incentive. So, and yes, you will be able to have one customer, and you can give that one customer a sample, access to the booking engine, and Jubi bucks. So look at how you can load up one customer with just phenomenal value, and at the same time generate a lot of Jubi points because of that one real legitimate customer registration. Okay? I'm going to say that again. This is very important. Very important. One customer here, you will be able to give away Jubi bucks to that customer. I don't know what the cap is right now. You'll be able to get them a sample, and you'll be able to give them access to a resort booking engine. So that one customer could allow you to generate a ton of Jubi points. Is that cool, or is that cool? Okay? Give me a moment. Someone asks if we receive commissions on our in our Jubi account, does that automatically allow you to use that? Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me just a moment. Mr. President has just texted me. Bear with me. Okay. So what was the question? I do apologize for that. Okay. When commissions are paid to your Jubi account, think of that as a virtual bank account. Now, I don't know when commissions are paid. I don't know if there is a time lag between if it's getting paid to your Jubi account. Does it take 1 business day or 2 business days? That part I don't know. Okay, but the moment it hits your Jubi account, okay, that money is in a virtual bank account, and you can use your debit card like you would any other debit card tied to your bank account. You can keep it there in your Jubi account. I think you can have as much as $99,000 there, and it is FDIC insured, by the way. You can keep it there in your Jubi in your virtual bank account, and then use your debit card. So today, for instance, Anthony, I had to have some work done, some brake work done on one of my vehicles, and I had some funds in my Jubi account, and I used the debit card right there. Okay. Or you're going to be able to transfer from your Jubi account to whatever bank account that you would like. Now, I will be honest with you, I have not done that yet, so I have to go through that process and see what that process is like. How long does it take to go from my Jubi account into my, personal checking account or business checking account or what have you, okay? Great question, though. Someone is asking, does the subscription fee, I'm thinking, Susan, you're talking about the monthly subscription. Does the monthly subscription come out automatically on the same card you start with? I don't know that I understand your question, because if you're using your Jubi account card, that's the only card you would really be using, unless you were using a credit card, and I don't know that you can even do this. Well, yeah, you can. If you were using a credit card to load funds into Payzer or Solid Trust Pay, and then using Solid Trust Pay, Payzer to make a purchase, your monthly subscription is going to be due on, well, typically, for most people, would be doing your monthly anniversary. If you joined and you upgraded on the 5th of the month, then on the 5th of next month, it would be due. What will likely happen here, for those of us now, what will likely happen here is that the monthly subscriptions won't be due until the daily revenue starts, and then that monthly anniversary. And I think you'll probably have, if some people want to have their monthly subscription due on a different date, like maybe prior to when that would be, 30 days from that point, they can choose to do so. All right, so now, let's say daily revenue starts. Now, I've decided, well, my monthly subscription will be due 30 days or the monthly anniversary from when daily revenue starts. Okay. Now, how do I pay my monthly subscription thereafter? With eCash. With eCash. There's nothing that's going to automatically hit your debit card or your credit card. So, how do I pay that with eCash? Well, there's a number of ways. I could load more funds and have it sit in eCash, one. When I receive commissions, I'm going to have commission dollars sitting there in eCash, so I can apply those eCash there. I can opt to use revenue for my daily revenue when it starts to help offset and pay for that monthly subscription. So you'll load funds the same way that we load funds now, all right, into eCash, and then you will cover your monthly subscription from there. Now, there may be an option, notice asterisk, 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 maybe, there may be an option where it can just be automatically debited from your eCash, all right, in which case, if you do something like that, I don't know that's going to be an option, but if you do something like that, then you would just want to make sure that you've got eCash in your, enough eCash in your account before that particular debit, okay? All right, where you wouldn't have to, manually say, let me pay my monthly subscription this month. You just make sure you've got enough eCash, and it just automatically debits your eCash, okay? By the way, we'll be showing you, once we get to that point, we'll do a video on how to take your daily revenue and convert enough e-cash to help cover your monthly subscription. We'll be showing you that, okay? When will you need to pay the first subscription? Jane, you will do that once we go live with the upgrade. So your first monthly subscription, all right, you'll pay that first monthly subscription when we go live with the upgrade. So this is why I want you to, and you're budgeting, budget your first month subscription. And remember, with your first month subscription, whatever your monthly subscription is, you're going to get as your product, you're going to get that's the corresponding amount of personal use Jubi bucks. So if you've got $15 a month subscription, you're going to have 15 personal use Jubi bucks. You cannot give those Jubi bucks away to generate Jubi points. You cannot give those Jubi bucks away to generate Jubi points, nor does the use of those personal use Jubi bucks earn you Jubi points. Now, let's make sure we're clear on this. This is very, very important, okay? So let's say I will be at $200 a month. So I'm going to get 200 personal use Jubi points. Personal use Jubi points, okay? So if I go into the Jubi store, the Jubi portal. Now, when I say the Jubi portal, I'm not talking about the Jubi rebates where you're shopping at Walmart and Target and all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where we can go and get skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality. By the way, I don't think the vitality products will be ready to go when the other products are ready to go. I think that's lagging a little bit. But skincare, weight loss, energy, I think those are going to be the products out the gate ready to go. Okay. All right. So now, let's say I go into this. I go into the Jubi branded portal where we got a Jubi branded products, and I choose to use. I choose to purchase some products, and they come up to right at $200. Okay. Well, guess what? I apply my 200 personal use Jubi bucks. Jubi. Wait a minute. This should have been a B here. Personal use Jubi bucks, not personal use Jubi points. I apply my 200 personal use Jubi bucks, and I have effectively no cash out of pocket other than, let's say, shipping and handling. Okay. All right. So think of that monthly subscription more as an auto ship. But because we'll have various products, what have you, you'll be able to set up. If you want to set up a certain package of a certain, group of products that you want automatically shipped out, you'll be able to do that. Okay. Now, let's then say that, you know what? I want more than my personal use Jubi bucks. What my family wants comes up to 270 Jubi bucks for me to make that purchase, okay? Well, then what would happen is, on the first 200 personal use Jubi bucks, I don't get any additional Jubi points with that purchase, okay? That's my monthly subscription. And the reason the company is not giving you additional Jubi points there is simply because there's a different way that the company is commissioning out that monthly subscription. It pays a significant amount. There's some paycheck matches or what have you on that monthly subscription. And so it was either don't pay that much on that monthly subscription and put it all in the revenue pool, or pay a good amount on that monthly subscription that generates a totally separate revenue stream, in which case those personal use Jubi bucks the company can't also give you additional Jubi points on those. Hopefully you got that, okay? Now, in this case, though, I use another 70 Jubi bucks. Where did those 70 Jubi bucks come from? Remember, on our daily rewards, what are we going to be paid in? What are we going to be rewarded in? additional Jubi bucks. Now, yes, I'm going to want to give a lot of those Jubi bucks either away, or give away the samples, or give away access to the resort booking engines. But if I use Jubi bucks myself, think about this. This makes a perfect sense. This is beautiful. If I use these additional Jubi bucks myself to purchase something in the Jubi portal that I wanted anyway, any overage of those Jubi bucks, I'm going to earn a 50% match. All right, so I'm going to earn 35 Jubi points because I bought product from myself. Because these other 70 Jubi bucks that I use are not commissioned out the same way that these 200 personal use Jubi bucks are. Okay, so hopefully you got that. Hopefully you got that. Okay. Will we be able to pay with credit card? I don't know, Jane. There's been some discussions about that. For right now, the credit card processing right now is probably going to only be limited to product sales. You know, from the Jubi portal, and probably will not include, at least not right now. I don't know that it ever will, monthly subscriptions or promoters going and purchasing Jubi bucks. And the reason that you, especially the Jubi buck part, that the company would probably really want to stay away from that is because of liability issues. For instance, you use a credit card, you can always go back to that credit card company 6 months from now, and you know, a person can complain and issue a chargeback. Well, if that happens, that's a lot of liability, because the company would have paid commissions as soon as a Jubi buck purchase is made. Commissions are being paid. Boom, you're earning 10% first generation if you are emerald or diamond. Then someone's earning maybe 5%, then 1%, then the 0.5% through the unilevels. Those commissions, boom, getting paid right away, showing up in your eCash. Okay. Then, as that person got their Jubi bucks and gave them away, they generated Jubi points, started earning daily. And so all of a sudden, if 6 months from now someone requests a chargeback or what have you, then you've got all of this money the company's already paid out. That liability is just way too extreme. So I doubt that we're going to see any credit card processing on Jubi bucks that the promoters are purchasing. Do expect to see credit card processing on the product sales. Okay. Hey, Robert, I did get your email, my friend. Robert Hewitt, I did get your email. I just haven't had a chance to respond to it. But we'll get that responded to so that you'll have that address to pass on. Okay, buddy? Robert also asks about the pay it forward option. And we got just a few minutes here, guys, because we're going to jump on the other webinar here in just a few minutes, okay? Yes, there's going to be a pay it forward option, and you're going to find it also back under your my financials tab. Right now, if you click on the upgrade tab, you'll see everything, how you can load funds, and you'll see the PIF, the pay it forward option. The pay it forward option is going to allow you to pay it forward from your eCash. You'll be able to pay a person's monthly subscription. You'll be able to purchase Jubi bucks for them. Now, the company decided against allowing you to simply transfer eCash. And the reason the company allowed against that is for a couple reasons. Number one, just from a security standpoint, didn't want someone to maybe hack into your system, or you gave your password and PIN number to someone, and then they came into your system, they transferred eCash to their position, and then they commissioned it out, and then there's a big old firestorm there. All right. So didn't want to have that happen. Number two, didn't want to have a situation also happen where, hey, I tell John, hey buddy, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna send you some eCash so you can cover your monthly subscription. Send you some eCash so that you can purchase some Jubi bucks. I send John some eCash. John sees that eCash, and he's got a bill that came up, and maybe that's why I was sending him an eCash to start with, because things were a little tight for him, and I was trying to help him out. And boy, he says, I appreciate that. Boy, let me go and commission this out and go pay this bill. And the reason I did that was so to help him out, and also I probably was either his personal role or he's in my organization, knowing that if he upgrades, with a monthly subscription, he purchases a package, I'm going to get some commissions on that. And so the company said, you know what, let's not even open up that can of worms. What we will allow you to do is we will allow you, the company says, well, we'll allow you to pay it forward. And you don't have, it doesn't just have to be someone that you personally enroll. You'll be able to pay it forward, a subscription. You'll be able to pay it forward to purchase a certain amount of Jubi bucks, or purchase Jubi bucks for someone. You need to know their username and all that good stuff, okay? Great question, okay? Is the company based in the U.S.? No, it is not. The company is a British Virgin Island company. The company's attorneys have gone through great lengths to do a lot of high-level positioning and structuring of the company. I can tell you that the first international office will be opening up soon. I'll let the president share, where that is and all that other good stuff, okay? In this day and age of the internet, do understand that business works a lot different. Like, for instance, I can tell you that we've got customer support folks that are across the globe. We got customer support folks in Canada. We got customer support folks in the U.S. We got customer support folks in India, as an example. Okay, programming, all same thing. When I say that they're in-house, they're ours. Okay, they program for us. They're our programming team. But we've got programmers, we've got project managers in the U.S. and project managers in Canada. Programming, again, coming out of other countries, so on and so forth. Our manufacturing is in the U.S. And typically, if you want to do some business in the U.S., you may have some U.S. entity, but that doesn't mean that's where the bulk of your business and even your assets are going to be. So it is a British Virgin Island company. There's a reason from an attorney standpoint. I don't know all that high-level stuff, why that was done that way. The first international office will not be in the British Virgin Islands. It will be in another country. There's a high-level reason why that's done that way. The manufacturing right now is in the U.S. Well, I say right now, there'll probably always be manufacturing in the U.S., but then there'll be other countries that will have, in time, as we grow, that will have manufacturing. This will be our last answer here because of time. There'll be other countries that will be in time as we grow, where, for instance, there might be certain countries right now that's a little bit prohibitive, but all of a sudden we see burgeoning growth in that particular area. Then it may be there might be products that are manufactured for that particular country or that particular area of the world where it's easier to ship and all that other good stuff, okay? Again, this was not done overnight. This was very, very strategic, long-term planning. And I will tell you that there are some folks who don't quite like what we're doing because we're growing so large, and there's a particular group that doesn't like what I'm doing because whatever, all right? And I've already started to see the haters out there on some of the blogs out there. You haven't made it in the big time until you got some haters, right? Don't believe 95% of what that stuff says. If you have a blogger out there that is taking information and purporting to know anything about Jubi Rev, Jubi Max, to know anything about management, to know anything about how we're structured, to know anything about what have you. It's very interesting how you write an article and you come across as being an authority and you've never once reached out to anyone in management or even yours truly. Because if you wanted to know that stuff, I could get you in touch with management. So how do you come across as being an authoritative figure about Jubi Rev, Jubi Max? Oh, I know what it is. You like to stir up controversy because that sends more people to your blog, and the higher your blog rankings, the more you can charge for advertising on your blog. And the truth be told, almost everything you've ever written was always negative. You never say anything positive. You do that to stir up controversy. So one thing I would say to you, folks, because people will come to you. I had a couple of Skypes today where someone said, hey, you know, this dude's at it again. This particular blogger out there, I won't mention his name. I don't even want you going there. I don't want you to help his rankings. And, you know, he just loves to blast anybody, okay? One thing I would say is if you get a blogger or you get someone saying, you know, something other than what you hear us saying on the webinars, okay? Don't even take your time trying to fight it, especially if it's a blog, because when you go and you try to defend, and I appreciate you trying to defend anything there, then what happens is those conversations help to get that stuff, the rankings up. If people want to know what's going on, you have them come to our webinars. If people want to know what's going on, you have them come to our webinars. With that being said, we love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. For many of you, we're going to see you on our very next webinar, JubiRev. Webinar.com, our income opportunity presentation, JubiRev, webinar.com. Right after we do the presentation, we will be letting everyone else know that the Jubi Suite is going live. And again, that is at www.JubiRevWebinar.com. And that's going to be in 30 minutes, 9 p.m. Eastern. But we're going to get off the webinar now and open up that webinar as people are typically waiting 30 minutes in advance. We love you guys. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. Remember, one last thing. If you are not aware, a third-party source that we will be recommending for customer registrations, real, authentic customers that will see your site, is FlyGuyMarketing.com. 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 Two other things, FlyGuyMarketing.com. If you are not getting emails directly from me, I send out a couple of posts a day to our following. You don't have to be personally enrolled by me. I never send out any personal referral links. My internet marketers are going to get me for not having a lead capture page. I know. I'm not an internet marketer. I never claimed to be. Send an email to JubiRevTeam@aweber.com. You stay in touch with any, we let you know what corporate webinars are going on, but I'll also let you know what team webinars we're doing. JubiRevTeam@webinar.com. Just send an email there, say add me, and the system will automatically add you. Last thing, if you want to be a part of one of our Jubi Skype groups, we've got a couple folks that are monitoring some Skype groups. The only thing is, do not promote other stuff there. Don't have a problem with you being an entrepreneur and promoting 20 other different things. Just not in that room. We're going to keep that clean there and only talk about Jubi. Number two, when we have issues that we need to deal with, we're going to deal with them positively. We're not there to send negatives around, okay? If you want to be a part of the Skype room, check with your enrollers, see if they're a part of one of our Skype rooms. If not, my Skype is GIF-PM, and just request that I add you, but you've got to let me know that you want to be in one of the Jubi rooms, or I won't know, because people add me all the time, so I won't know that you want to be a part of the Skype chat room. That way you can meet some other great Jubi folks from around the globe. Okay, just say, hey, I'm in Jubi, please add me to one of the Skype rooms. We love you guys. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. We'll see you on the next webinar.